Younger women don't just date older men for their money. I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for myself. And people are always asking, what is it about an older man? What do you like about an older man? And I'm here to tell you. They usually have more traditional values and roles, and so chivalry is real. They make women feel special and loved and adored in a way that I personally have never seen a guy my age or even 5 years older do. Hopefully, they are already established if they're like 20 years older than me. I would at least hope that they are established in life. And so, yes, usually they are. And so that is attractive. And before you jump down my throat and say I'm a gold digger, it's not about that. It's sexy when a man is motivated, driven, successful, when he has his shit together. I think it's really sexy when a guy has his house, car, or cars even, and he already has his life. Like, he has his routine. You know, he gets up, he goes to work, he works out early, he's up early. I just love a guy that cooks for himself, a guy that I don't have to take care of. It's so attractive when a guy wants to take care of me. An older man can hit all of my love languages in ways that younger men just haven't, in my experience. I'm attracted to a man that leads, and I don't have to train and teach how to act. I've done that my whole life with guys in relationships, and it's exhausting, and I'm done. I truly just have no desire to do it anymore. I don't want to have to mold someone. I just want someone who is already who they are and established in who they are and knows who they are and knows what they want. I'm not trying to deal with someone who's trying to find their way still. Usually, the older, the more experience they have in relationships, which means trial and error. They've already overcome mistakes. They've gone through failed relationships, and they kind of learn what they should do or shouldn't do this time. Obviously, this doesn't apply to everybody, but most of the time, men have had several relationships the older they get. I personally love a divorced man with kids because he's already been through it. He already knows. It's not his first rodeo. Usually the older, the more emotionally intelligent they are, and that is hands down the most important thing in a relationship to me. At this stage of my life, again, we all change, but I'm at a point now where I care more about emotional intelligence than looks, than money, than anything. I'm also looking to find the man of my children, father of my children. And so if he already has children, usually he knows how to act around kids. He knows how to adjust life to being a dad. I personally think it's better to date a guy who already has experienced children because you already know right off the bat how he is as a dad and if he's a good dad or not. When you're having someone's first child, you have no idea how that person's going to be as a parent. So if you've already seen him and dated him for a while, you see how he is to his children, it's just a good way to interview them to see if they are going to be a good dad to your children. And now let's get to the fun stuff, like how the fact that older men just love to be down there way longer and way more often than any guy my age or even 5 years older. They just, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but especially if you're a younger woman, they literally worship your body. I'm not even kidding. But this is like specifically men like over 50. I'm telling you, they are givers. And honestly, most guys my age, they're just receivers. They just want to lay back and receive. And I'm telling you, I feel like the older generations are more dominant, more alpha, more masculine. And these younger generation of guys are just more feminine.
Yes, it's a little that we are getting tired the other part. And it's more important is that we're less interested in quirky than we are of crazy. We will take quirky over her crazy every day.
Gen Z women prefer dating older men according to new research. Let me know if you agree in the comments below.
Men didn't suddenly become boring, they became selective. And once you've dealt with chaos long enough, peaceful stops sounding dull and starts sounding priceless.
Why are young women attracted to older men? It goes deeper than you think. It is not because they're broken, gold diggers, or being manipulative. It is because older men activate something that younger men haven't developed yet. Young women bring youth, beauty, curiosity, softness. Older men bring experience, confidence, emotional control, and safety. That pairing has worked for thousands of years because of what? Biology and polarity. A young woman is wired to seek a man who can guide her, protect her, and elevate her. Not control her, but teach her. And this is the part that a lot of people ignore. Older men teach. They teach emotional maturity. They teach communication. They teach discipline and long-term thinking. They can show her calm leadership and what masculine reassurance actually feels like. She grows up faster beside an older man than with somebody who is still becoming himself. And what does he get in return? She brings him back to life. Her softness, her energy wakes up parts of him that he forgot. Her femininity sharpens his masculinity. This isn't a transaction. It is pure polarity and human nature. Younger men are still figuring themselves out, building themselves up emotionally, financially, mentally. They're unsure, inconsistent, and that is normal for their age. But women don't fall for potential. They fall for certainty. Older men know who the hell they are. They know what they want. They know how to show up. They offer so much direction and protection and stability. That's why young women choose older men. They feel safe enough to be feminine, open, and soft again. It is not creepy. It's not new. It's the oldest pairing in human history. And the people who hate it the most are the ones who can't offer what either side actually values.
What about when said older man becomes unable to look after themselves or has medical needs due to old age, and the younger woman is still in her prime, so to speak? I have known women to walk out at that point.
Someone needs to say the quiet part out loud, so I'm going to do it. Dating older guys is better because they're actually stable. Let's go through some examples. Number 1, they have an actual bed frame and a job. They have had their fair share of failures and learned from them and developed something called humility and respect. They're actually looking to date someone and not just sleep around. They know how to cook a good meal. They have figured out how to manage their finances. They lived during a time when manners still mattered and still carry them. There you go, everyone. Now let's get on with our day.
There's much more to it than that. Patience, wanting to make sure you're happy, usually able to touch you in ways that only an older man would know, knows how to make you feel appreciated. The list actually goes on, but I won't bother you anymore.
One thing I've come to terms with is it really does not matter the age of the man that you're dating. If he's older, that does not necessarily mean he's going to treat you better or be more mature. Trust me. I've dated some early 40s guys and I go into it thinking like, okay, they're already established, they're grown, they're tired of this little boy crap being petty. Probably not going to do that. Wrong. They're still men and it just depends on the person. You'll just have to get to know him and see if he's cray-cray or not. Actually, one of the pettiest men I've ever dated was like one of the oldest men I've dated. So no emotional intelligence. Like, I'm 27, so I've dated anywhere from 26 to like 47. There is really not much of a difference between the two various ages. Don't let that be a reason to date an older guy just thinking that maybe he'll be more mature, because that's not always the case.
An emotional, intelligent man will know your game. Ladies, are you sure that's what you want? BC, you may find an immature man is easier to deal with.
Here's my thing. 20, 30, and 40-year-old men are completely different creatures. And I just happen to prefer the 30 to 40-year-old creature. They're like the perfect mix of a little more mature than they were in their 20s, but still have a youthfulness to them that is familiar to me. Like, I would love to date a 60 or 70-year-old man because they're so wise. I love spending time with them, but that wouldn't work in a relationship because, lacking attraction probably, lacking youthfulness and stamina and all that. So alas, I am stuck with the 30 to 40-year-old, and I just find that I usually feel equal maturity if not a little bit more mature than every man that I've dated that's about 10 years my senior. And I know that a lot of people see older men as a threat and have negative experiences or ideas about them, but just personally for myself, I've only ever had positive experiences, and I think they've only affected me positively. I've learned so much about life and about myself from them, and in general they just end up being the men I fall in love with because I relate to them a little bit better, because their self-awareness level seems to be more similar to mine than a man in his 20s. And I've always been drawn to older men, like dating a 26-year-old when I was 15, which was crazy, but there is just something that's so exotic and fascinating about someone who has survived on the planet 10 years longer than you have, and all the stories they can tell you in past tense instead of having to experience all their mistakes with them in their 20s when they most likely would have mistreated me because they didn't know how to act. They were young. And the more I think about it, I feel like my childhood really influenced this, because I grew up among all boys. I have one little brother and that's it. And then all of our family friends were big families of only boys. And so even though I had friends at school, I could never hang out with my girlfriends outside of school, so we never got that close, and I never really had a really close girlfriend until late high school. It was always boys. And then on top of that, my family threw dinner parties all the time, and so there would be 60, 70-year-old men around our dinner table almost every other night having discussions with me and telling me stories, and those are some of my most treasured memories from childhood, and I've just always loved that feeling of being told stories by someone who's older than me. So.
An older man sees patterns, not potential. And once you realize someone isn't buying the act anymore, the attraction mysteriously fades.
People assuming that the only
Women always date provider men, but guys near my age, they don't have high emotional intelligence.
How old are you actually?
23 in January.
I like older guys, but it depends like what he looks like for me, to be fair.
Well, what's your maturity level?
Yeah, what would you put the age range?
Probably like 19.
Ah! What did he say?
Nah, it's like 27.
You said 19.
No.
I
He's a goofy. I don't know where that came from.
He's just a man trapped in a boy's body.
What?
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
The truth is, older men don't chase validation. They offer direction. And for women tired of guessing where things are going, that clarity is magnetic.
Most men, as they age, they really don't take care of themselves. And I say this knowing, because I was married to a man who was 17 years older than me. And I can't think of a time, even when we were in the early stages of dating, that I was genuinely physically attracted to him. I, in the beginning, saw that, he was nice looking, he was good looking enough, but what attracted me to him was the way that he was so into me. There was never a time that I would think of him and be like, God, I need to see him. There was never a time when I was physically in his presence when I just looked at him and I was like, I just need him to bend me over. And look, we've all known and dated or been in connection with men like this, where you just see their broad shoulders and you're like, yep, we're doing it right now. That's just not something that happens when a younger woman sees an older man, unless he is truly, truly exceptional. On the regular, no, because as far as physical appeal, no, we're not even talking performance, like I've said before. As far as physical appeal, a younger man is going to take better care of himself. Life hasn't gotten to him and hasn't made him bitter and angry. They are more physically fit usually. They just have the whole physical package where you can be attracted to them, because let's face it, appeal on a physical level is appeal on a physical level. You see them and you're like, God, they're hot. You see them and you're like, yeah, I really need them to have their hands all over me. And women see older men and they don't think that for a single minute.
Everyone looks at men on social media, even the older ones, and most of them look good, but that's not the reality out there. And because we women take care of ourselves, to feel good about ourselves and to attract men, no matter how superficial it is. I don't understand why men don't do the same thing, to look good in our eyes. It's as if they've reached 50 and don't need to work on their appearance anymore. Then they're surprised that women of all ages are attracted to younger men. They'd better wake up, otherwise they'll be left alone. That's all for today. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to press the notification bell so you get the latest updates from our channel.